a moment to savor, a gentle nudge to seize the day. With every sip, feel the warmth of the sun and the promise of a fresh start. Because a great day begins with a great cup. Wake up with Poe, and let the sunrise work its magic.
Good morning, greetings and salutations wherever you may be on this ball of dirt that is being spun around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Today's topic is control through history. Now, I want you to think of some real pivotal moments in history. Now, the people that are in power, or the ones that want to be in power, will reflect on history a lot. I didn't realize this immediately when I was in school, and I heard the term that the history is doomed to repeat itself. And then behind that, there would be all these atrocities and horrible things that had happened in that historical moment. To equate people to those same people from the past is a fear-mongering tactic. Oh boy, this gets really deep on a psychological level, because there has to be a boogeyman. There has to be a bad guy. There has to be a villain. And the thing about life and nature, strip away all this, that's what life is. In the wild, before all this technology and stuff, there were things that wanted to eat us, okay? So we had to adapt to be smarter than them to survive. And that was by getting together. So they had a boogeyman. Now, society really did not get onto a large global scale until the invention of agriculture. That is what really brought forth this people all congregating together, and then different ideologies clashing with each other. Whoever has control over, food and certain resources has control over the people, in a sense. I mean, that is how it really breaks down in layman's terms. So to control people through fear-mongering, through history, they will take, like I said, historical figures and say, this person is the N-word. And then that person will be like, no, I'm not. I have black friends, and I'm this and that. Now it turns into, they will also label other people racist. They will label them misogynist. They will label them sexist. There's so many, anti-Semites. There's so many different labels for these categories of people that do not agree with the other people's ideologies. The most simple and basic down-to-earth principle, and I love it because it's taught through Christianity. Here we are at the Church of Latter-day Saints Mormon Temple in Lae, Hawaii. I've been really wanting to come and check this out, so you guys are here with me right now, and we're next to one of these beautiful infinity, it's not an infinity pool, but it's a really nice fountain. As you can see, there's this lady behind me, and she's giving water to the children. A nice symbolic gesture. And speaking of control through history, the inventor of the Church of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormon faith, Joseph Smith, I believe his name was, his story was somewhat not grounded in reality, somewhat far-fetched, but he captivated enough people to build this, and he used history. What figure in history did he use? Well, Jesus. Not just any Jesus, shape-shifting Jesus. I know. I am a firm believer in the values that Christianity and other faiths teach. Literally, I agree with them. I would be labeled as what one would say is agnostic, but there's some hope there, right, guys? So, controlling a whole population must be done through this camera now, through the control of media. the Democrats that have been in power for quite some time, and they used to have the edge on this. They cornered this when there was the Bush-Clinton times. Clinton went on MTV, he went on VH1, he did these talk shows that were more geared toward a younger population, and that boom of TV and radio and all the subcultures underneath it. They were very, very smart then and meticulous, and they were fighting for the right cause. And their boogeyman has always been the rich are the demons, they're the evil people, they hoard all the money, da 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 da. They're using the same tactic that the N-words used at the same time. And to clarify that, I'm talking about Nazi. I'm trying to watch what I'm saying here. So there's one time, I think that might have been 2 times. Oh, to hell with it, doesn't even matter anymore. I'm gonna have to say it a gazillion times. Whatever. So they took the same formula there that they were using toward the Jewish population in Germany. Well, the Democrats use that same ideology. Let's demonize the rich because we can get all the poor. There's more poor people and we can get those votes. Let's cater to them. Let's be their moms. Let's take care of them. And in some regards, there are, and I am subject to this because I've lived in poverty and penury most of my life, 3/4 of my life, I would say, and in and out of institutions and facilities, and has come full circle to what you see here now. I'm truly awake, as I say, be awake, wake up, get out of the matrix, the whole 9 yards, all that. I'm out of the matrix. I see the world now for what it truly is. And I see the control that they use through historical figures in the past. For example, it works on both sides, all ends. Referring to Donald Trump as George Washington, they're totally different in so many regards. I mean, so many, but when it comes to a legacy and actually doing something on paper and having something, real tangible to show for, he is one of the greatest right now of all time. This is just amazing. Took a bullet and everything. Not to say Reagan didn't get shot. He got shot too. And there's also fear-mongering behind all that also. When you think of how the government will pit its citizens as the enemy sometimes. In some regards they are, when there's anarchists and there's people that want to see the country you live in burn, and they're degrading it. And what do you do with a small fringe group like that? We practice freedom of speech, but I think it should be illegal to burn the American flag. I think that you should literally go to jail for that. There's a lot of things. I like capital punishment. I believe it's the boogeyman to keep people in line. That's one of the problems, is the reins have been let so loose that it's hard for the control to be grasped again. They're dangling down by the horse's hooves, and if you reach down there, you're liable to get your hand trampled. And if you keep reaching, you're going to fall under the footsteps of that horse, that carriage, that momentum that society has built behind this. We've went to other countries and liberated them in the name of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. Now we're in those same countries committing sex changes to their people and promoting a ideology of sterilizing their culture through these ideologies. Like, I'm really trying to watch my wording here. I want this to reach people, and I want people to understand that when you hear these words and you hear people accusing people of being historical figures, they're trying to control you through history. They're trying to tug on your heartstrings through history. I don't want to get too in-depth on the religious end of control, because that's also in play there too. Once again, I'm a firm believer of different cultures, religions, because it's a moral fiber, it's a moral fabric to hold them together. And it seems like, something snips away at it. They call it the devil. I just call it reality, that people are just people, and I want to get away with doing this, so this group here says I can do this, that group says not. That group's boogeyman is that person, this group's boogeyman is this person. It can be quite vexing when you really start trying to dig deep into this. And I'm sorry about the angles here and stuff. I really should have went to the other side so the sun was shining on me, but this beautiful fountain behind me was worth the bad camera quality here. Once again, I apologize for that. And history just over and over and over being used to control society. Once society gets past that point to truly wake up to real reality, they're still going to be controlled no matter what they do. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby knows. He's been through some shit. He knows firsthand that people will control you through history. Now, in some regards, history is super important to keep track of a movement of people or ideologies or whatever it may be. For instance, look at, the fascist movement that started, I believe, with Mussolini. And a lot of leaders during that time, along with Stalin and, the most famous of them, Hitler, that ideology is geared around, look, we're going to be proud as a nation to the point where if you don't meet the standards of our ideology, then you are our enemy completely 100%, and we're going to flaunt this ideology in front of you. That's all the most simple way I can break that down. Elaborate more if you would, anyone. If you know anything about these topics, feel free to chime in. But the boogeyman shit has got to stop at some point, and it's like this close. There's still this small group of people that are holding on to controlling people through this fear tactic here, that if you don't stop this, when you hear the words existential threat, existential, the first thing I think of is Men in Black. The first thing I think of is when I hear a reporter or a news agent or anyone like that say, this is an existential threat, the first thing I think of is Men in Black. It's a joke to me. A joke to me, the way that they try to, and this term, gaslight, another joke term that they've taken. They took real context, real meanings, real words to describe things, and turned them into just everyday, normal reticate that they spill out. The media is out of control. That's why I prefer to get my news through YouTube. Through here, I prefer to get my news through YouTube. I love these small podcasts that give their opinion and insights, like the pyramids, for instance. Did you see that they found all these extra structures underneath it, and now it's being debated, did they even find it? Is it a hoax? Things of that nature. They're questioning, as we should. We should always question things. And here's the big one. They say underneath the pyramids, goes down these long shafts with spiraling stuff around it. I would think it's some sort of electronical, something that produces light or electricity to shoot up into the sky, because the ancient people of the ancient civilizations knew there was extraterrestrials, obviously, and we're trying to communicate with them. Whoever knows, Anunnaki did it, whatever. It's history. It's great to learn. Great, maybe we can get some sort of new technology out of it, or insight or something. But let's see here. It started with religion, you're right, scaring people to the obedient, yeah, you're right, through their ideology, 100%, you know. And then look at what they did to religion. It used to have such a control to the point where, believe in my God, they still do it. All those Christians that were beheaded just recently in the Congo, nobody even talks about it in the news. It was like 20 to 60 Christians, women, children, everything, beheaded. Man, they cut people's heads off. This is barbaric. And to think that overseas, the genocide that happened to the Jewish people, not just once but twice, and then it's an ongoing feud, and there's a side trying to defend that when all it is two sets of people warring over God ideologies. It isn't anything more than that. If they believed in the same God, they could live on the same piece of land. That simple. Truly that simple. Not, oh, well, you got to take it back and look at when these people showed those people. Man, we're all humans on the same ball of dirt. They're idiots for even trying to stake claim to a certain piece of land like that. I'm almost to the point where it should be just one world. Not a new world order, but just like tear it all down. Tear it all down. One currency, one world, one everything. Let the animation, let the robots go to work for us. No more currencies. There's plenty of room. Live within reason. Don't overpopulate. Make sure you can only have enough children that you know you could take care of. Don't go crazy with the shit. Unless your genetics are set up that, you know, do genetic profiling, all that. I'm down with that shit. That sounds crazy, huh? Well, I'm down with that kind of crazy. Because I can see in society, there's people that genetically have a disposition to them that allows them to be easily manipulated, and they're naive, and then to back that up, they are unwilling to learn anything past the hate that's being fed to them, because it might open their eyes up to have to go outside to the real world. And I love that I gave everything up. I love that I've done what I've done, the soul searching. I truly feel awakened right now. I cannot tell you that the shedding everything off and doing it like this is just, it has truly changed my life. And I cannot wait to get back to the mainland, because we're going to do Rebirth of a Champion yet again. History, huh? So, Toll Eckhart, it talks about living in the now. And there's these three phases here. There's the past, which has already happened. That's it. It's done. It's over. After this show, after this segment, when this is done and over and I walk away from this moment, because we're living from moment to moment. It doesn't mean seconds and it's over. It means moment by moment. This moment will be over. It will be history. Sure, it's logged here forever. It doesn't even exist anymore. It doesn't. It's over. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is right now. This is really hard for some to grasp. The future doesn't exist either. We know that, because why? It hasn't happened. And once it happens, the future, and let's say you talked it into fruition, when it's happening, then it's real. Once it's past, it's in the past, it's not real anymore. So all you have is the now, the moment you live in now. Once you really understand the meaning behind that, how much substance is truly in that to evolve off of, then you'll see that history doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. Sure, you can keep records and analyze things like sports does. That these players at this caliber that come along and do these numbers end up at this place. Sure, because it's tangible and it's numbers and it's real. But it's still, in that moment, they know that, and that person is that what they're talking about. But to get to that point, it's already happened. Everything, you know, that's something they try to tie in with religion, is that everything happens for a reason, or it was preordained. It's 2025. You would think it would be different. We're all human, and that's that for real. Absolutely no more race. Forget race, religion, and gender. Get the fuck out of here, boy. We ain't playing them gender things. No, there's only two genders, with the exception of hermaphrodites that come along rarely. It's a genetic default or something, obviously. So, you want to touch on that? We can absolutely do that. It's one of my favorite topics to touch on, and we need this to be a pretty lengthy one here. So, religion. I like religion. Keep religion around for the weak-minded people. That's what it's designed for, if they would just follow it properly and not allow the ideology of multiple genders and you can be anything you want to be. That's just going against science. And one thing I'll never do is go against science. That's why I'm agnostic now. I do know an energy leaves your body when you die, but this body that I was born in, this that I came out of, it's organic. Anyone that's ever watched multiple litters of animals being born, from cats to dogs to whatever it may be, and when you see an animal live its life cycle and die, then you understand truly that, hey, I'm only here for a allotted amount of time. I'm just this organic thing. I just happen to be way smart with insight and foresight and all these things and built all the... I'm the greatest thing to ever exist, when there's a galaxy. There's the universe. I mean, it's so microscopic an individual's life to think that there is more. That's a dream, a fallacy, a fantasy. But it's a good one to hold on to. So religion teaches, do these moralic issues here, like man and woman make a child and stay in the household and raise that child to not cuss, not swear, to teach thy neighbor with respect, right? Great moral fiber. Love it. As soon as it's a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, and they start dressing the child up the opposite sex, that's when it becomes child abuse. That's when people are supposed to step in. Society for so many years shunned people that wanted to do these type things, and they should be shunned. That's one of the problems. I mean, it's apparent. If I see a man in full dress, but he's got a beard, I know. Look, mental issue. Don't affirm it. But don't make confrontation with him either. It's do whatever you want, right? I truly believe that and respect that full-heartedly, that you should be able to express yourself any way you want to. But I'm not going to pander to one's delusion. There's definitely only one race, and that's the human race. Depending on where your original roots come from, determines your skin color, your hair texture, all that stuff. Where you're placed at on the earth. It's gonna start getting loud. That's the key that it's time to get off here. So tomorrow we'll pick back up with this same subject. But I really wanted to touch down with you guys and explain that they are controlling the masses right now. Control the media, control the masses. So when you hear people being called the N-word, know that they are lying. All they're doing is trying to evoke emotion from history. They're trying to tug on your heartstrings and hope that you're naive, or that you already have hate in your heart to the point where it's easy for you to hate someone. If you hate Donald Trump right now and you're a patriot and an American, then you need help. You truly do. Because you're just hating this person just for being the person they are. Wow. It's like hard for conservatives to even breathe on this earth anymore. They wish us death. They wish death on us. They're burning Teslas in the streets. They're just doing anarchy. When I was young, anarchy was cool. When I was a kid, anarchy was cool. The anarchy then was Mohawk, the style of music, will punch you in the face. That was anarchy. Anarchy now is let's burn everything that's a mom and pop store in my own neighborhood where I live, and also loot it at the same time. That's anarchy. That's chaos. That's fucking maggotry. That's garbage behavior is what it is basuda. So we don't do that. We don't. We conduct ourselves as gentlemen and ladies. We conduct ourselves with professionalism. We might lose our cool, and if we do, there's a time and place to handle everything. But this hiding your face underneath a mask because you're too much of a coward to show your face on camera or to another human being, that's exactly what it is, being a coward. And we're not cowards around here. Not at all, because we're Star Nation Network. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you're not following, please follow. Hit that like button. It lets the algorithm know, hey, this guy's reaching people. He's making a difference.